Hey guys, I'm back with another video, and today I have a spring candle haul. Finally, oh my god, I've been chomping at the bit for new spring candles, and basically spring is my favorite candle season. Winter is my least favorite, so I really look forward to the transition from winter into spring because give me all the spring candles. So I went into a store today, and then bam, they finally had some of the spring candles out, and as you know, I bought a few Candle Day candles in excess to be able to exchange out for when the new spring stuff comes out, so that is my spring candle haul here today. In terms of SAS, they just had a ton of body care, not a whole lot of 75% off, a lot of 50% off and $4.95 stuff, so total pass on that. They only had 4 3-wick candles, which were just peppermint marshmallow, and that's it, which is funny because we were just like going crazy with peppermint marshmallow during Candle Day, and now it's the only candles left for SAS, and they're still left over, and those were the only 4 sale candles like on the floor at that store. And then everything else was just the spring stuff. None of the like champagne collection or the brunch collection or whatever that is out at my store yet, but I was able to snag some of the other ones, so let me get right into it. So the first one we have is the sprinkled birthday cake. I was so excited to see this one because this one's the one that I really wanted to try because the reviews have been really mixed on this. Some people have really not liked it. Some people have liked it. Some have said it's really weak. Some said they can smell it really strong. So I was like, I have to smell this one because I love my birthday cake fragrances. And if you recall on my top best of 2021 candle video that I just did, watch that if you haven't checked that out already. I put birthday cake in there from Homeworks as one of the top fragrances because I love me a good basic like birthday cake fragrance. It's like, I like having a vanilla fragrance I can sort of burn all year round, but a birthday cake fragrance usually has a little bit more of an extra whipped cream or bakery element to it that's a little bit more delicious and more addicting than you just run-of-the-mill like vanilla bean marshmallow fragrance. So I'm all over the birthday cake fragrances, so I had to check this one out. So that's what this one is right here. This one is $26.50. It's rainbow sprinkles, whipped vanilla frosting, and fluffy cake. I actually already did burn this one last night because I just couldn't wait to burn it, and that's what that looks like. Oh my god, I love this one so much. It smells really good. It is lighter on cold, but when I burned it, it was still a good medium, like still stronger than some of my unscented blush poinsettia or the peppermint marshmallow were way weaker than this. Even toasted and hazelnut praline, I could still smell this totally adequate in a bedroom, and it even like lingered for a little bit afterwards, so I really enjoyed that. But this is actually a new fragrance, and I'm really enjoying it. It kind of smells like a birthday cake that's more like a white cake rather than a yellow cake, and it has a lot of like just fresh like what is it, heavy cream on it, rather than like a heavy thick like buttercream icing, or rather than a frosting, it's more like heavy cream rather than a like buttercream icing or frosting. So like in a difference between like this and this one's a little bit warmer and more has that buttercream and yellow cake feel to it and that heavy like icing and frosting. And this one has a little bit more of that caramelized sugar component to it, so it has a little bit more of a warm caramel feel to it. Whereas this one's more a cool whipped cream, heavy cream type of feel to it. And it also kind of smells refrigerated, like if you were to make a birthday cake and you like kept it in the refrigerator until you actually serve it at night. But then also you get a slight like strawberry feel to it as well, in the sense that maybe it was like a, you know, a birthday cake that had like strawberry slices in it or fresh strawberries on it, and you could still smell like a little bit of the strawberry seeds and the strawberries like atop the like heavy cream covered birthday cake. And then you also smell some of the refrigeration. So I was saying in my Instagram live last night that it kind of reminds me of Yankee Candle Summer Scoop, which has a very much like a refrigerated or a ice cream, strawberry ice cream like coolness to it. And you get that slight more coolness to this and more of a like whipped cream component to it, that it smells like a white birthday cake with strawberries on it and like whipped cream and heavy cream, and it's been refrigerated and you pull it out, and this is exactly what that smells like. It's delicious. I like it so much. It has like a light-hearted fluffiness to it. And I was saying that it kind of reminds me of it's not pink petal tea cake, but a similar like light-hearted strawberry cake vibe to it, because if you recall, the alternate set of notes on pink petal tea cake listed strawberry on it, so it had a similar like strawberry cake type of note vibe to it, but not as buttery and heavy as strawberry pound cake. A little bit more on the just like cool whipped cream, cool actual white birthday cake rather than a buttery pound cake vibe is what I get from it. But delicious nonetheless, and I was burning it last night and it smelled great. When you do first go to burn it, similar to what my birthday cake here did, it gets like a slight like burnt crayons type of warmth to it, and it kind of smells like burnt crayons or plasticky when you first light it, but then once it pulls out, it kind of dissipates and it's not quite as off-putting, but it does warm up a little bit more than I had hoped for when it burns. I was hoping it would be a little bit more of a cool fragrance, but it does have a little bit more of a warmth when you go to burn it, but not enough for it to be off-putting, and I still loved every minute of it, and I didn't even want to blow it out, and I was like, oh my god, I love this one. So I really enjoyed this one more so than I thought I would. So that's Sprinkle Birthday Cake right there. Maybe the Rainbow Sprinkles is giving it a slight fruity berry vibe to it, but I'm really enjoying it. So that's Sprinkle Birthday Cake right there. I think that was it for the core collection at that store. I think there's a Champagne Margarita also coming out, but I haven't seen that yet. The next collection we have is this collection, and it's Sweet Berry Peony right here. I was totally intrigued because I love like my peony and rose fragrances, and this one's peony petals, sweet strawberries, and juicy pomegranate. This one is just white wax with the rope-like wigs. This one's different. It's not really what I had imagined it to be. There's a heavy emphasis on the pomegranate and strawberries, and the combination of two almost comes off as like a strawberry jam, or I think of like a strawberry fruit roll-up, where I can just smell like the pressed jamminess of a fruit roll-up. It really smells like that, or some kind of like fake like strawberry berry filling inside of like some random pastry treat is kind of what I get from this. But then it's mixed in with a slight like perfumey floral element that comes off as, I guess it's supposed to be peony, but it's not at all the same as Perfect Peony. That was so much more stronger and way more floral and way more green, more quintessentially green spring floral, whereas this is so much heavier on the berry and pomegranate. So it's definitely not a Perfect Peony. It's also not Sugared Peony Petals, which that used a totally different peony, which was the base of Tokyo Petals, mixed with like a buttercream fragrance to it, is what Sugared Peony Petals was. Not at all like that, because that has like a hairspray peony vibe to it that this is not, and that's still a little bit more floral and green than this is. This is just so heavy on the berry and pomegranate to me. It also kind of reminds me of strawberry mochi, like the Japanese like treat or dessert that's called strawberry mochi, but it doesn't smell like the fresh strawberry mochi that's like refrigerated or that you would get like fresh. It smells like the pre-packaged ones that usually have like Japanese characters on it, but then when you flip it over it says like made in Taiwan or something, so it's not actually a native Japanese mochi treat, but it smells like one of those like pre-packaged like not Japanese mochi treats that like has like a strawberry flavor to it, and it also often like has like a Southeast Asian cuisine flair to it, so there's a slight perfumey element to it. It smells just like a strawberry mochi from like, once again, not an authentic like Japanese one, but like a pre-packaged like Taiwan one or something like that, where it has that slightly like Southeast Asian perfumey vibe to it, which is what you're getting from the floral peony, and then it's mixed with that like strawberry and pomegranate that kind of evokes that strawberry mochi fragrance. There's a slight like rice floury like powdery texture to it. But yeah, that is what Sweet Berry Peony smells like to me. Interesting. It's not anything that I would be like, oh my god, yeah, let's green light this, but we'll see how it goes once it burns. So that was the Sweet Berry Peony. In that collection, there was also Eucalyptus Springs, which is a repackage, and then Lavender Vetiver, I believe, and then maybe Sunshine and Daffodils. Lavender Vetiver is a new fragrance, but it smells very similar to every other lavender fragrance we've had before, like French Lavender, which is the same as that white eucalyptus and lavender fragrance that's always comes out. It's just like a powdery, fresh lavender is what Lavender Vetiver smell like. It didn't smell too different or deviate from all the other lavender fragrances, although I don't think it's exactly French lavender. It's very similar to it. Once again, I didn't burn it, but it was just so run-of-the-mill powdery, fresh lavender that I just didn't need to pick it up. So I did not get that, and that's it for that collection. The next one we have is the Neutrals collection, and that's the one we have here, which is Dark Amber and Oud. This looks slightly better in person than it does online or whatever. It looked kind of cheap. It looks very like DW Home or that Sand and Fog or whatever that company is. Like a TJ Maxx candle is what this kind of looks like. A little marginally better in person, in like the neutral like two-tone kind of looks all right, but still kind of boring, but it is what it is. It's Dark Golden Amber, Fresh Rainwater, and Oud Wood right there. As for the other fragrances in this collection, they were all repackages. Whipped Raspberries and Vanilla is supposed to be new, but if you read the notes on it and you smell it, it smells just like Unicorn Sprinkles. Like, I'm pretty positive that's just Unicorn Sprinkles, so that's totally a repackage. And then everything else was a repackaged in that collection as well. So the only new one that we have is this one right here. This one is like a men's cologne fragrance, but more in like the shaving cream aftershave type of route, kind of like Iris Spring soap. There is a like cleanliness to it, or like a clean aftershave with like shaving cream type of feel to it. A soapy component is in there as well. Oud is supposed to be, I think we're saying it was infected agar wood, which is actually a really rare and one of the most expensive like fragrances or aromas or whatever oils that you can get out in the world. And a lot of like designer higher end fragrances were on the Oud train for a while, and it got really popular. And it's apparently like there's only so many trees, like agar wood trees, that are actually like infected. So that's why it's so rare, because they have to find a tree that is also infected inside of it, and then they like cut it down, and inside of it's the infection, and you somehow extract a fragrance. I think that is what oud wood is, but it's super expensive. So it's probably safe to assume for $26.50 this doesn't have real oud in it, but rather a synthetic, version or duplication of what oud is supposed to smell like. But I thought oud usually has like a deep, smoky, woodsy fragrance to it. This doesn't have a whole lot of that to it. It has a slight, like, powdery, woodsy fragrance to it, but it's not overly smoky or anything like that. But I just get like very much a cologne fragrance that has a like Iris Spring type of slightly powdery, could be smoky type of woodsy cologne fragrance to it. There's definitely a citrus note in here, which I'm assuming is from the rainwater, because a lot of water or marine accords have citrus in it. So I think that's where I'm getting the citrus from. It's like a sort of grapefruity, citrus, slightly lime type of fragrance to it that is similar to the citrus notes in the cologne candles of like Nantucket Sail, White Sand Beaches, or Ocean Mist and Citrus. All those have like a citrus cologne fragrance. It's like you mix that with a like Iris Spring soapy vibe and a slight woodsiness, and that's what Dark Amber and Oud smells like. So if you like any of those cologne fragrances, this one's kind of in that route. It's not like your super obvious like mahogany teak would like punch you in the face bergamot waters type of cologne. It's a little bit more nuanced and subtle. And overall, it's actually a lighter fragrance than the majority of the cologne fragrances. It also kind of reminds me of the Noir men's fragrance, which has been out for a while, and of course was just out for the holiday season. Kind of a, like, how Noir also, I said it had like a baby powdery Iris Spring soapy vibe to it, similar to that. So I would also equate Noir to this. So that is what Dark Amber and Oud is right there. Not a normal type of pickup fragrance for me, but it's the one new one, and I've been getting into cologne fragrances, and I really enjoyed the Noir over the holiday season that I didn't mind snagging a candle that was similar to that. So that was Dark Amber and Oud right there. And lastly, the only other collection that my store had out was this collection right here, and that is the Blueberry Pie. These are still $24.50, so I'm gonna speculate that maybe these will go on sale towards the end of SAS, and these are more for SAS rather than after SAS, unlike the $26.50 ones that I just showed, but that's just pure speculation. Juicy blueberries, flaky crust, and sugar crystals, and it has a thick rope-like wicks in the light-colored wax right here. The light blue one, and that's actually precisely the reason I picked this up, is because Blueberry Pie has been out many times before, I think twice. The first version of the Luminary one, which we like all fell in love with, it just sooted like crazy. It had white wax with the core wicks on it, and no matter how much trimming you would do it would burn so hot and just soot like crazy. And like, I love the fragrance, so I want to burn it for like 3 hours at a time, but it would always soot so much, just like constantly, that I would always have to blow it out. So that version was totally annoying. And there was the ombre version for SAS that also had a white wax, and I think it had flat wicks, but I never picked that one up, burned that one, so I can't. Maybe I picked one up, but I want to say that one also sooted too. I don't totally remember. But this one is the first version that I think has thick rope-like wicks that usually have a little bit more of a controlled flame, and has the light colored wax, so that means it's a different wax formulation or just different wick and wax formulation. So I'm hoping for better results on this. It still smells strong as ever. Everybody knows Blueberry Pie at this point. It's that warm, flaky crust note that we get in like warm apple pie or sweet cherry pie or sugar cherry crisp. That warm brown sugar infused crust note mixed with a blueberry note. It is oh so similar to sweet cranberry pie, which is also the same as iced cranberry scone. Like when you smell this, it smells so similar to the iced cranberry scone. It's just like this one has blueberry a little bit more in it rather than cranberry, but still a tart berry. That they're very, very, very similar, that I still sometimes wonder if they're actually truly repackages, but I don't know. This really smells just like the ice cranberry scone, but I was debating that even when I first hauled sweet cranberry pie and ice cranberry scone, that it was so similar to blueberry pie. Maybe there's subtle differences, I don't know, but still very super similar to it. But we all love blueberry pie, so I was excited to see it, and I wanna see how this one performs. The other fragrances in that collection were pineapple passion fruit, which was actually a new or different fragrance. It has pineapple passion fruit and cranberries in it. The cranberry was actually very prominent in it, and it kind of smelled like an ocean spray, like juice cocktail, juice concentrate type of fragrance that was actually stronger on the cranberry rather than the pineapple. So it was like a cranberry passion fruit type of like juice cocktail fragrance is what that came off as. It wasn't like pineapple mango or any of the other pineapples that we've had before, but just totally fruity, run-of-the-mill tropical fragrance that I just simply don't care about, so I didn't pick that up. And then there's also coconut lime verbena, which is super old nostalgic BBW OG scent from Body Care. Smells just like it. Like I smell that and it just takes me back to old school BBW. Like the fragrance is exactly the same and still smells strong as ever on cold. I've had that one before. I was just okay with it, so I didn't need to pick that one up, but it smells just like coconut lime verbena always has, so check that out if you like the OG BBW fragrance. And I believe that is it for this collection. There's also the brunch collection, which I have not access to yet. There's a toasted coconut eclair, which I'm hoping is toasted coconut s'mores. There's a pink prosecco frosting, which has a very like suspiciously similar notes to blackberry creme frosting that was just out, but I haven't smelled that one. And then there's a springtime in Paris that I really want to smell bad, but those are the ones with the glass lids that are $29.50, so the price point on that is way higher. And even if they do a 10 off on it, it's $19.50, and I don't get coupons very frequently anymore, so you would have to spend a full $19.50 on a candle that has that stupid fancy glass lid on it, so that's kind of crazy. And then there's the pink lilac and vanilla, lavender marshmallow, and peaches and prosecco. And then there's the champagne toast and the Valentine's dark chocolate truffle and a BU bubbly rosé or something is also in that collection, but I think those are pretty much all repackages other than the dark chocolate truffles we don't know yet. So that's the like brunch collection. Lastly, I did smell the peach prosecco macaron pocket back, which is matching to the peach prosecco macaron body care, and it smelled amazing. I actually used it because I just picked up on a whim because it was at the cash wrap, and I used it and it smells just like the peach meringue fragrance, which I was super jazzed about because we haven't seen peach meringue in forever, and I loved it. It was in a core white barn glass jar, and the pocket back smelled just like peach meringue. It was that same cool whipped vanilla mixed with that same peach note. I didn't get a lot of effervescent prosecco note, but I guess you could say the slightly tartness of the peach could translate into a sparkling effervescence, but it was pretty much peach meringue to me. It didn't really smell like macaron either, but it had a definitely distinct cool vanilla in it that I guess is supposed to translate into macaron. It was a delicious peach vanilla fragrance, just that it was very, very, very similar to peach meringue that I really enjoyed the smell of. So I'm kind of excited to try out the body care on that. I think the candle of the 3-wick is peaches and prosecco instead of peach prosecco macaron, so it's probably not going to be the fragrance, unfortunately, because I would have loved to have peach meringue in a 3-wick. But yeah, and I think that's pretty much it for all the stuff that I smelled. I'll try to start burning these and do reviews on it. I'm super jazzed about this one. I already really enjoyed the performance on this last night, so I'll try to dig into that a little bit further, and then we'll go from there. So let me know if you picked up any spring candles or if you're still finding SAS stuff. I have not found any SAS gems at all in my store, so it's pretty much that on that. So thanks so much for watching. Hope you have a happy and safe New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.